I'm Karen Colville. This is my video log, and it is based on my blog that I had written earlier today. I have concerns about security in my own country of Canada and also on an international basis. So this is my topic and issue of the day, and this is the blog that I've written. Building peaceful relations with a future of improvement and empowerment of people in the world and in organizations and countries that have had a background with a history of unrest, political instability, ongoing tensions with different approaches and skillful tactics with strategy. Many people go into foreign countries with peaceful intentions of goodness and act in a non-violent way, are placed at risk of personal injury and possible arrest with imprisonment and civilian targeting by military. Politically driven forces cutting off vital necessities to life as water, food, medicine, and transportation. But this is happening all over the world, creating dissidents in distribution of power with human rights from inside governance. This is not a case for global governance or one world government. It is recognizing both sides of the coin and what made it. Canada, being my perspective as Canadian with some international experience, Canada is recognized for peacekeeping, and many of its citizens are immigrants, originate from other lands. Today, it is becoming more taken back with foreign investment and trades as economics, thus creating further challenges for its citizens that are not in the wealthy sector and are put into opposition with their values and beliefs. Look at the number of doubling Canadian soldiers that are being sent to Afghanistan, a foreign country, to fight a war now into its 10th year that has nothing to do with them, except for protecting interests with the interests of the status elite as elites, as allies, or partners, investors with other country to a wealthier, powerful neighbor, the USA. The ones in the system that has foreign investment that make it into power may only do so much once in power, as they are appointed to position. Whether they're elected is debatable. That's another topic for another day. But then there is the present day possibility Iran has nuclear weapons, and what countries are partnered with what countries and what policies, treaties, laws is another thing to keep up with. And the power rests still in economics as resources, and the power and control of resources as security. The most ongoing, recognized, known, long-term conflict, Israel and Palestine. The subject of many international debates, books, and lectures, and there are many around the globe with networking and social development, is growing at an elevated rate in communications and in social networking. And many in a not in my backyard attitude, it affects your own security and future. So was this planned by the insiders? Many people get distracted in their day-to-day lives and how they believed in as rights, as sovereignty, and what is known as human rights and a decent standard of living, a living status with security and property, and whatever the living arrangement are continually being eroded by systems of corruption, greed, and discrimination. Culture is one peaceful connection to acknowledge and recognize, to further understand healing of past problems of economic mismanagement with military intervention as consequence. Some cultures are destroyed. Present day, I'm certain of the Sumerian culture in the present Iraq war as long-term effects will carry on for generations. Getting any real kind of truth is very difficult, and the caseloads of people that do make it are mounting as a result of the mismanagement and corruption with greed of more powerful entities. Security is the biggest issue and obstacle even for people in richer nations, and for many, how this may be accomplished as an NGO. When hidden resentments and talks with approaches in one or more areas is challenging to accomplish any kind of measurable growth, when countries are in conflict and in war crimes are not exposed, put to trial for long after the war is over. There is no mercy, and there is no settlement. A proportion leverage of power, many say they want peace, when in fact profiting industries, conflict needs, other direction, and contempt for international human rights laws. Then there are the corruption in parties running business. People in political positions are placed into power positions for these reasons. How do they get 1 million or more people to cooperate or collaborate? The use of force, it is profitable and easier. Solidarity comes with a risk and few rewards, except instilling a humanitarian value for future generations. So that leaves some people asking what's in it for them. What true lies exist in amidst political corruption, and what levels of justice exist? Isolation from the outside world most affected are children, and what they will grow up to be, and with what values, let alone the psychological and social impacts, when they do not even know what living in peace is about, and what economic enterprise is, with security in a collaborative manner is about. Keeping some nations poor in starvation, disease, and population growth is profitable business, and that has little or nothing to do with ethics or morality. In order the poorer nations take longer to develop, there is profit to be made off of, and will not prosper, grow, or develop, is political genocide, political oppression, religious intolerance, and ethnic challenges as racial discrimination based on belief. This is the history of theology as an ongoing cycle. Few people have any choice. The rights of the poor in an impoverished nation creates conflict with the powers that exploit the nations, feel a threat to their security. Is foreign aid with a contract, or does it help in a rebuilding process of economic upheaval? Few men may speak out on the injustice with an ironclad policy, most created by the ones that have specific interests, or a prison industry, supported with ethical contradictions. Morality in all aspects of life, including sexuality, of those who support the poor and are oppressed, increasing. Social awareness and the desire to act. It is like asking a thief to recognize the victim that was stolen from in the first place and recognize as an equal. A created ignorance, as it is acceptable to steal from the rich or poor. There are also disinformation agents that expose partial truths and are rewarded for turning in as informing in the ones that want to help others by taking action. Stability with empowerment and a false setup of democracy is created and is the same difference. In some cases, it does involve the displacement of people in one area for another, their continued security business, and then there is the problems of corruption. What is important? How to the ones that cooperate make a difference. Governments seem to not solve these difficulties unless there is outside pressure. It is recognizing both sides of the argument, both interests, or more, coming up with solutions for the long term in a collaborative manner. Is there a business direction for peace with values that may actually be achieved? Why is it so complicated and difficult? Is the complexity of the dealings themselves? Perhaps in small steps toward bigger steps making progress in these areas. Why is it that one country supports another country and not another in areas of conflict of interests? Is created whether it be trade or in financial aid or in support. Does the country gain economic benefits with the support, Or does it create debt or industry bias with conditions with criteria of support? Organizing with excellent communication toward not being to the point of being controlled or corrupted by payoffs. From what interests, what compromise is difficult, and in many cases collaboration to whom interests are they really serving? When the smoke and mirrors clear, is any simple direction is the first step in achieving social justice, provided all interests are on the same page, to start a better book with a better future? Many end up breaking unjust laws in order to create a better or good governance, independence with status. And there are political analysts and scientists, they also seek support and tenure, and that tend to have a clearer picture. But all the changes and going-ons when these talks seem to be moving forward, another conflict or crisis is created and managed. When and where is a win-win, if any, situation for all interests?